Teze.
And I'm John Fenolio. The strong gusts are bringing bone-chilling temperatures overnight and are expected to stretch into Sunday.
And KTLA's Alina Bovian is live in Agora Hills, where all the winds are really kicking up today. Hi, Alina.
Hi, Sam and John. Certainly has been very windy here in Agora Hills today, and we have the 101 freeway right here behind me. Just a reminder to go slow, especially if you're in a high-profile vehicle. Very cold and very windy from the Inland Empire to the valley. Here in Agora Hills, folks are bundled up. The wind's so strong you can hear it howling.
I'm not a fan of the wind or rain. That's why I live in Southern California, and it affects my pickleball playing.
The National Weather Service issuing a high wind warning in effect until Sunday afternoon in wind-prone areas of LA and Ventura counties.
I would say that you would want to be careful with fires outside and not go too fast on the highway, because it's scary if you have a high-profile vehicle.
And that's exactly what happened. The CHP responding to an overturned semi-truck in Jurupa Valley. While recent rainfall has reduced wildfire concerns, the ground is still saturated, which can make it easier for trees to topple and power lines to come down, increasing the chance of power outages. Residents are urged to prepare by charging phones, keeping flashlights and extra batteries on hand, and refreshing emergency kits.
It's just freezing. Just this morning, woke up to the dog out, and I had to bundle up just to get him out, and it's just freezing. It's warm. It's really, really cold.
The wind advisory also covers parts of the western San Fernando Valley, the Santa Clarita Valley, the Malibu Coast, and portions of southeastern Ventura County, where gusts up to 50 miles per hour are possible in the hills and passes. The silver lining, at least it's wind and not snow.
Because the weather has been changing so much all over the country, all over the world.
Now, even though one wind advisory is expected to expire this weekend, there is another one which will go well into next week. I'm Lena Bovin in Agora Hills, KTLA 5 News.
Burr.
Yeah.
I'm just cold watching, Alina.
Well, you know, these are not warm Santa Ana winds, not yet. They will begin to warm the atmosphere up, Sam and John, once we make our way through the next couple of days. But, of course, over the last 24 hours, beginning last night with those northerly winds, those were really brisk late last night. And, of course, today, well, it's going to take a little bit to get these temperatures into the 70s and 80s. But, yeah, it's not a very warm afternoon. Visually stunning. Take a live look, and happy Friday, everybody, from the airport LAX. However, it's what we cannot see that is affecting our weather quite significantly this afternoon, and those are the Santa Ana winds that have begun to really pick up steam throughout much of the course of the day. The typical funnel zones coming out of the Cajon Pass through San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County. You can see sustained winds from San Bernardino up to 21 miles per hour. Just about 15 minutes ago, Corona was seeing some sustained winds at 26 to 27, so that puts the gusts into the mid-30s. Strong conditions there in Santa Ana. Sustained winds at 13 miles per hour. And of course, the other hot spot, the other funnel zone coming out of the Antelope Valley through the Santa Clarita, Simi, San Fernando valleys, and eventually through the Santa Barbara, Ventura County coast. And you can see Van Nuys all the way up to the Grapevine, sustained winds between 20 to 22 miles per hour. So these winds are going to continue to stay around here in Southern California, as you can see up on the advisory page, until Sunday afternoon. And again, those funnel zones are under a wind advisory through Sunday afternoon. Gusts of up to 25, 30 miles per hour, but it's the high wind warnings up in the mountains that could be damaging, with gusts of up to 50 as well as 55 miles per hour. These winds will begin to relax through Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, and then those warm temperatures are going to come into Southern California. That forecast minutes away.
Kai, thank you. We are getting a new look at the final moments of a mother's life in Minneapolis, this time from the perspective of an ICE agent's cell phone. 37-year-old Renee Good was shot while in her car during a tense confrontation with agents.
Federal officials say an ICE agent opened fire in self-defense. Rachel Minitoff joining us live from the KTLA News Center with today's developments. Rachel.
John, Sam, the Trump administration says Good was intentionally trying to hit the agent. Observers, though, say she was actually trying to swerve around him when she was shot and later died.
Say her name! Renee Good!
The fatal shooting of a Minnesota woman is sparking national outrage and conflicting narratives about what led to the gunfire.
Renee was a real person, a neighbor, a loved one.
New video posted by Alpha News appears to be cell phone video shot by Jonathan Ross, the federal officer who shot 37-year-old Nicole Renee Good on Wednesday.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
You see Good interacting with agents. Another woman in her SUV hops out and taunts one of the agents, who then orders Good out of her car. She begins to drive off. The camera cuts away, and you hear an agent yelling. It's unclear if the SUV struck anyone, and seconds later, gunshots. The mother of 3 and U.S. citizen was killed. The White House press secretary says in the aftermath, quote, the media smeared an ICE agent who properly defended himself from being run over by organized leftist protesters who were impeding an active law enforcement operation. And President Donald Trump defended the ICE agent and the handling of the investigation.
Do you believe that the FBI should be sharing evidence with state officials in Minnesota?
Well, normally I would, but they're crooked officials.
Earlier on, local leaders say they had an agreement with the feds that a state agency would take part in the investigation. But now they say the FBI has taken over and is denying state law enforcement access to any evidence in the case. Now the Minnesota Attorney General is asking the public to send in information they might have, including video.
I cannot overstate the importance of a local investigation, or at least access to the federal investigation by the BCA.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says he's doubtful of a fair outcome, and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey also had some choice words.
Our ask is to embrace the truth. Our ask is to include the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension in this process because we in Minneapolis want a fair investigation.
Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson says the case is going to come down to this.
Legally, the question is going to be whether or not the officer actually and reasonably believed that he was in imminent harm of death or great bodily injury, or somebody else was.
Renee's wife, Becca Good, said in a statement that Renee had stopped to support her neighbors and alert them to the ICE activity in the area. She says, quote, the people who did this had fear and anger in their hearts, and we need to show them a better way. In the news center, I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Rachel, thank you. Tensions also remain high in Portland, Oregon today as the FBI investigates another shooting by an immigration enforcement agent that left 2 people wounded. Federal officials claim Border Patrol agents were conducting a vehicle stop on an undocumented immigrant who was a member of the violent Tren de Aragua gang. They say the agent opened fire after the driver tried to run them over. Portland's police chief confirms a man and a woman were wounded. They've been identified as a married couple who officials say entered the U.S. illegally from Venezuela. No word on their conditions tonight.
Immigrant day laborers and community members are coming together for a day of service 1 year after our region's devastating wildfires. Organizers say day laborers have been putting themselves at risk and holding the front lines of the fire rebuilding efforts amid fears of federal immigration raids. They're calling for an immediate end to the immigration enforcement. Workers also showed off their rebuilding efforts, demonstrating soil bioremediation on a damaged property in Altadena.
The LA City Council held a special presentation commemorating the 1-year anniversary of the Palisades fire. The presentation recognized the city departments and hundreds of staff who work to restore services, support displaced families, and advance recovery efforts. Dozens of residents were also recognized for their collective organizing, advocacy, and hands-on efforts to support recovery over the past year.
When frustration and fear took hold, and it did, residents created spaces to talk, to listen, and to keep each other moving forward, even at times when it might have just been easier to give up.
The council also held a moment of silence for the 12 victims who died in the fire.
1 year after the Palisades fire, the community's YMCA is moving closer to rebuilding. Today, a $1 million grant from Bank of America was announced. The money will move the community closer to their $25 million goal. Residents say it's a sign of hope in restoring support systems people in the community count on, especially during the ongoing recovery.
We are not only rebuilding on the site here, but we're also have a second phase to this project where we are also building a beautiful outdoor swimming pool and a gymnasium and spaces for teens and seniors.
It's more than just a building, and I think that's what we talk about for the YMCA. It is a Center for Community Wellbeing.
The project is expected to break ground over the summer. In the meantime, the YMCA is trying to continue to reach, again, that $25 million goal.
We have more coming up on the News at 4.
David Lazarus joins us live. Hey, Laz.
Hey there, guys. We just heard about signs of hope a year after the LA fires. But when it comes to California,